My name is Mike Jimenez, and this is the Acquired Taste coming at you from San Antonio, Texas. It's called the Acquired Taste, right? Nothing's changed, right?
Nothing's changed except for the name, the Alamo City Sportscast. But it's good to have Mike back. Good to see you back here in the studio. Everybody missed you. You were missed. Let's put it like that.
Back in the saddle. Alamo City Podcast Network.
Oh, look at this. Alonzo is. I like this name better.
You know what? Okay. Bite me, Alonzo. Okay. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you want to find us. You can catch us. Again, we're also available on Spotify, Apple Music, iHeart app, all of that stuff. I'm glad to be back in the saddle today. And it's funny because it's been a few weeks since I've been doing this show, and people have been asking the question, were you on vacation? You know, what was going on?
Did you get abducted by aliens?
Abducted by aliens? Did Border Patrol get me? Did Governor Abbott send me on a bus to California? Is that what he did, right? Yeah. It's been a trying month for me. And, you know, I disappeared from Twitter. I disappeared from Facebook, from Instagram, and I basically unplugged. And I plugged myself back in last night. I thought it was a funny tweet that I had last night. I just asked the question, does this thing still work? Is this thing still on?
Still on.
But you know, life comes at you sometimes and it hits you like a ton of bricks. I have a marital issue going on, and looks like it's going to eventually wind its way through divorce. And that's not something that I was expecting. Not something that I wanted. You know, I kind of came at it from the idea that, you know, if you are faithful and a provider and you love somebody, that things will eventually work out. But sometimes that's not the case. And I got fucked in the head, basically. You know, I just, you know, it put me into a depression that required me to get some sort of counseling. I've been going to counseling for the past few weeks or so. I have 4 sessions under my belt right now. And it's a change in my life. And because of that, I had to kind of trim down what I was doing, because not only do I do this podcast, but I also run a business, and I'm a father to 3 kids. You know, I have a house, I have 3 dogs, and all of that stuff kind of just all piled up at one time. And I just told you that I don't know if I was coming back, man.
Yeah.
And now that I am back, I don't know for how long I will be doing this. Okay. In the sense that I can see myself for a time being coming back and doing this maybe once a week.
Yeah.
And then maybe progressing that to 2 days a week. And then maybe we go back into the old plans and goals that we had of creating this network. But man, you know, just mentally and morally and physically, I got punched in the gut.
You're exhausted, brother.
Dude, I mean, look at me, dude. Look at me. I'm going to stand up real fast.
You lost some weight? You lost some panza?
I am down 11 pounds in the past month, simply because, you know, I've been working out a lot. I've been doing my walks, you know, 3 to 5 miles a day, every day. I've been eating a little bit better, eating less because, you know, I am borderline depressed, and I can't hold down a lot of food. Haven't had anything to drink in a month as far as like alcohol is concerned.
No, we could change that now.
We can't get the Buffalo Trace out, you know. So, you know, so right now I'm not in a good place. I don't know if I've hit rock bottom yet, but I felt strong enough this morning that at 6:58 in the morning I reached out to you and I said,
"Yeah,
who's hosting the show?" And your response was, "You?" ?
Yeah.
And the answer is yes. Okay. Now, what are we talking about today? Fact of the matter is that I don't know. Okay. Over the course of the last 3 or 4 weeks, I have stopped talking about sports. I've not viewed sports. I mean, it's just one of those things where I unplugged from life.
Yeah.
And people reached out saying, we're with you. Alonzo saying same thing happened to me 2 months ago. Just concentrate on myself without a lot. To get my mind off of everything. Down 50 pounds so far. Stay strong, man. 50 pounds is a lot of weight.
That's a lot, dude.
The thing about it is this is my second time around this merry-go-round. I was divorced the first time back in 2008, 2009, that time frame, and was, looks like I'll be getting divorced early part of next year is what it's looking like. And it's not something that I wanted. My wife, Selena, I love her more than anything in the world, anybody in the world. But you can't make somebody love you if they don't. All right. Who sang that song?
I forgot who it was, man.
Oh my, it's gonna get to me, but it's Bonnie Raitt who sang that song. So anyway, the thing about it is that I will say this to people out there, because you guys have an open window to my life, and that's part of being on the radio. That's part of having a podcast. If you love your wife, make sure that you communicate well with them, because it's amazing how things run hot and you don't realize it. There's something called 211. And I don't know if you know what 211 is, right? 211 is 1 degree below boiling. And that means you always run hot. And if you don't resolve conflict, that temperature doesn't come all the way down. And when you're at 211, that basically means that you're just 1 degree away from boiling over and being upset and angry. And I look at myself, and I didn't realize that I was causing, pain, I guess you could say, that I was causing unhappiness. And I didn't realize it. I didn't. And because of that, that 211 was always there. And it boiled over. And there are certain things that are my fault, but it's nothing that I thought was eccentric. It's just is what it is. But it's just, I'm in a weird place right now. I'm in a weird place. And I want to thank everyone who's reached out to me. Jeff Garcia, my friends, my family, John Dyer has reached out to me. Fernandez reached out to me. Ricardo.
Yeah.
Have all reached out to me. Stephanie Mejia reached out to me this morning. It's nice that this is a community, and I may or may not cry in this episode.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things where it's nice to have an outlet. And even though I think that this stresses me out, this podcast does stress me out because it's like another job.
Yeah.
And that's probably part of the reason why, that whole stress factor of it all. But keep in mind, when I got on radio in 2019, my personality changed. Yeah. And I wasn't the person that I normally had been. I had evolved. And we all evolve. And the question becomes, are you going to figure it out together? And in order for things to be corrected, both people need to do that. And if one is disengaged, the other one can't do both parts of the dance by themselves.
Yeah, I feel that.
I hope that things will eventually would work out with me and my wife. And if it doesn't, I'd still love her.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. We have lots to get into today. You guys were talking about this on Locked On Spurs. Which player is going to regress this year? I like this conversation because this is something that I've been thinking about. I've been thinking about the Spurs, the Wemby effect, and that's going to affect so much in the lineup. We still don't know what the starting lineup's going to be.
No,
we have no idea. And if anyone says that they know, that they're lying, man. No one knows. Hey, Tony Parker, again, before I left, he was not a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer now. And now the guy is getting some big-time praise, some big-time accolades. We'll be talking about Tony Parker. I guess we'll talk Cowboys. We're, about a week away, less than a week away from the start of the NFL season. 12:30, a special guest. We have a guy named Kirk Wood who's running a Comic-Con type of event out in Portland, Texas in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's called CadabraCon.
CadabraCon, like it. And that's over there in Portland, Texas, which is just outside of Corpus Christi. We're going to get into a couple of other things. I know you want to talk about your favorite comedic sports movies. That's different, right? Because there's some sports movies that are like awe-inspiring, like that shitty-ass movie Rudy. But
Chariots of Fire.
Chariots of Fire. Dun, 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 dun. I think of Chariots of Fire. It's the movie Vacation. It's the scene when they go from the parking lot to the front of Wally World, and the place is fucking dead because it's closed.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, there's a problem with that. Okay, why did they close it in the summer? There's no way in the world Wally World would have been closed in the summer. And maybe, just maybe, because my friends are like asking me this already. I haven't dated in 12 years. Not that I'm going to date anytime soon.
Yeah.
Okay, or that I'm even looking forward to it. But what the fuck is that going to look like? Especially with Jeff Garcia back in town.
Oh, bro, I forgot about that, man.
Me and him doing the What is Love at 1919.
Yeah, that's the thing too. They were asking Jeff, hey, you've been saying that you're going to be coming back to San Antonio for quite some time.
I know.
When are you finally moving back? I'm like, he doesn't have to give you an exact date, but there will be signs.
Bullshit. He does need to give us a date, man.
No,
and he's
you don't
giving
want to.
he's giving me the date. Okay.
Yeah, well, I know, but I
thing
can't
is-
say.
The thing is that he's like a politician in that he moves the goalposts further and further and further, because that date was like June,
Yeah.
and then it was July, and then it was August, and now it's like getting further and further away. I will say this though. He kind of has to be back in town by the time the Spurs start the season.
Yeah, he does.
And I'm not saying the regular season. I'm talking about preseason and practice,
Yeah.
because that's kind of what he needs to do. But let's go ahead and see some of these comments over here. Mike Baez of Bear County Social Apparel says, a lesson I've learned over the years with relationships is never argue or discuss meaningful issues over text. That's a good point. Joshua reaches out and says, hell yeah, Jimenez in the motherfucking house is back. Talk about the journey with the divorce, where your head is at, your therapy, whatever you want. You're going to be better on the other side. Love you, man. Appreciate that, man. And just because his name is Jimenez doesn't mean that we're related. Although I do have 76 first cousins, it is very possible. But, que llora. Drop the Addy. I'll send the beer. Play some.
Some chente.
Oh, some chente. Okay, so I didn't know if that was exclamation points in the background. No, but it's funny. We have so many people coming up. Christopher Leha saying, someone call Paige and let her know Jimenez is on the hunt.
Hey, maybe she can hook you up with one of her friends.
I'd settle for Annie Agar. Okay. Annie Agar is my girl.
Man.
She's my girl. Baez
Mike.
asking, Mike is hungry like the wolf, Duran style. Coming on in hot, baby. Coming on in hot.
Hungry like the wolf.
This is a safe haven for me, okay? Because one of the things about like differences in personality types is that a lot of people would look at this kind of me coming in here and just talking about things like this, that, and the other, would be like, why would you do that? Why would you publicly say that? Well, I didn't say anything wrong. I didn't say anything rude about my wife. I love her. I think she's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. I love her. It may or may not work. It looks like it's not going to. And I guess I'm partially to blame for that. But the thing about it is that this is an outlet. And I love talking sports. I love talking pop culture. I love talking about nostalgic stuff. And this is kind of an outlet. I don't know if I could do this outlet 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Maybe not for a while. But I would like to come back on Mondays. You have Tuesdays with Teague, Mondays with Mike.
Yeah.
Maybe something like that. That's great because, you have all the Sunday football games.
Oh, the sports from the weekend.
We can react to the Cowboys and get you ready for Monday Night Football and things like that. Maybe I up it to 2 days a week in a month or so, and then we kind of just build on that. Josh Jimenez saying Selena Gomez is single too. That's right, baby. That is right. Her kidneys don't work, but everything else does.
And she's within the range, isn't she?
Half plus 7 is the range. Let's see, I'm 46, so 30.
No, she's 30 something already.
So she does, yeah. So she is
32 or 31.
Yeah, but my half plus 7 has to be 30.
Okay.
Has to be 30. Interesting.
Yeah, I think she's 31, 32 years old. Right?
And it's so weird, man, going through a separation and a divorce, because I'm not even talking about dating because I have no desire to right now.
Yeah.
The person I want to date is my wife.
Yeah.
Okay. But like everyone's just kicking the tires on me right now.
No, man.
And they're like, hey, man, I have a cousin. I have a coworker. I have somebody that I work out with. And I'm there going, have you ever seen the movie? Oh, God, what is the name of that movie? The Big Sick?
Oh, yes.
Okay, that's with Camille Nanjiani.
Yeah.
And there's a scene in there where he has a box with a photo of every girl that has been introduced to him that people are trying to set him up with.
Yeah.
And he can always go back and just retrieve the photos. Maybe I'll just get a box like that.
No,
I'm not ready for any of that crap right now. But you know what? Just throw some photos in there.
Yeah, just take a look.
Like a baseball card.
Yeah.
I'll put this on the bike spokes.
You know what I told my wife a while back? I said, man, if for whatever reason we didn't work out, right? We got a divorce. I told her I'd be in no hurry to go and jump into another relationship. I would enjoy being single for quite some time.
No, well, see, that's the thing, man. When I got divorced the first time, God, man, it's gonna be twice. What a fucking loser I've turned into.
Oh, Lord.
I told my daughter, the one that's at LSU, I told her, I said, collectively, I've been married for 17 years, 17, 18 years. And Interesting thing about that 17, 18 years, kept my dick in my pants the entire time.
Yeah.
I didn't cheat on any of those girls, any of my wives. It's kind of funny. Chris Gonzalez, Sofia Vergara, and Julie Bowen are single. He knows that I love me some Modern Family. Okay, Sofia Vergara, don't get me wrong, bombshell. But Julie Bowen, my goodness.
Man, Stephanie Mejia had me rolling the other day. Her and Fernandez, they were taking fun shots at you. And they were saying, remember the time that Mike said he had game?
Oh, dude, I have game.
And they showed her face, and she was like...
Okay, first of all, was this on air or was this?
It was on Twitter, and it was funny, dude.
Okay.
I was laughing.
Okay, first of all, I have game. I know this, man. The phrase has always been, I've always outkicked my coverage. I have game. I have game. Whoever was up there on our YouTube feed over here saying Mike just needs to get a slump buster. Nah, I'm good. But the thing is, man, is that like I know I have game, dude. I can talk, I can listen. I mean, come on, man. I'm a nice guy who makes really good money, who has a business, who has a nice house. I'm gonna be fine. Okay. But am I gonna be a douchebag? Because after my divorce the first time, I kind of turned into a D-bag for like 6 months. But then again, I was drinking a lot. And I don't drink right now. Well, I mean, I still drink. Dude, I have drank more on air doing this podcast than I've done in actual real life the last 6 months.
Man, it's because your voice, for whatever reason, every time you come in here, it gets shot.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. People reaching out. Mike, there are two people in a relationship. It's not all on you. That's what Anthony L. says. Thank you for that. Steph Mejia, Fernandez, love you both. But believe me, I've got game. And since I last saw you, Steph, which was about a month ago when we had the Spurs Twitter hangout, I'm down 11 pounds, girl. I'm like 12 pounds away from being fucking cute. You don't understand. It's coming. Woo!
There you go.
You know, what's that song? I'm coming out. I want the world to know. I want the world to know.
Oh, God, man.
Oh, you see what that is? Game. That's
you
game.
know what, man? I just finished buying me a brand new rowing machine. I got it upstairs. Yeah, dude. It gives you a good workout. I've been using it.
Dude, okay. First of all, you said rowing machine.
Yeah.
I got to take you to my gym. I joined Hot Works the other day.
Wow.
And you work out in a sauna, and they put the rower in the
what
sauna.
The hell, dude? Are you serious?
It's 120 to 134 degrees in there. And you are rowing for 12 minutes.
Man, you sweating, dude.
And then they're like, so you're rowing, and then they're like, okay, now underhand bicep it.
Oh, I didn't think about that, bro.
Bicep it, and then tricep, and then you do like this, and it's a video. It's a 12-minute workout. You do 2 of them. And what's funny is that people go 130 degrees, 125 degrees. That's crazy. Dude, I will go outside when it's 106 degrees. Outside, middle of the summer.
Hotter.
And I come outside and it feels like it's spring. I just walk out of there. It feels like it's 75 degrees. That's the thing. Chris Leha asking the questions. Am I going to Mad Peckers on Sunday night? Mad Pecker, who's a proud sponsor of the Fantasy Gods. Is that when we're doing the fantasy draft?
Yeah, we're doing the fantasy draft with Brandon Medina. Rudy Campos will be out there, and myself. We think we're going to wind up trying to go ahead and do a live remote there from 11 to 12. And then we're going to have the meet and greet. We're going to have the draft party from 12 to 3.
Interesting. I'll have to ask my wife first. Oh, wait, no, I don't. Oh. No, I don't.
No, mames, man.
Let's talk about the Spurs right now. And by the way, if you love the Spurs, you got to follow Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs. He is the man when it comes to local content, when it comes to the silver and black. We're all excited about this.
Can I just say this real quick?
Yeah.
I'm excited about this topic too, Mike, because me and Jeff, we make the national news.
That's right. So Locked On Spurs is a podcast that as of right now is doing a few days per week right now, but when the season gets going, it's going to be every day, daily content when it comes to the San Antonio Spurs. But there was a question that was asked, which was, will other Spurs face a regression because of Victor Wembanyama? And Jeff Garcia, Joe Garcia, both of you were mentioned on a national publication. Tell me about it.
Yeah, USA Today of all things. USA Today Sports, they have something called their Spurs Wire, where they put out all their Spurs, highlights, news, and all that. And I was looking, and all of a sudden I was like, this looks eerily familiar to what me and Jeff did on Locked On Spurs. So I was like, let me click on this because I thought they were trying to rip us off, but they wrote a little blurb, a little article about the latest, one of the latest Locked On Spurs episodes, which I was actually on there with Jeff, and we were talking about which Spurs player might regress because of the Wembanyama effect.
So who did you pick?
I actually picked Keldon Johnson, and
That's
I said,
a very good choice.
I said he has the most, I guess, not to go ahead and lose, but he can regress the most because he was having to be called upon so much last year because the Spurs really didn't have anybody. He had to be that guy. He was getting all those touches, and you look at his stats, and they were, really good. But now that Wembanyama's going to be there probably in that starting five, he's not going to have to do as much, which is not a knock on him. He's still going to have a good season, I believe, but his numbers aren't going to be what they were in the prior seasons.
That's a very interesting point. And by the way, you can follow Jeff Garcia at Jeff G Spurs Zone on Twitter. You can follow him on Threads as well. Ken's 5, he's the lead sports writer out there. And in this conversation he had with you, who did he pick, by the way, as the one to regress?
Oh, I forgot who it was that he picked. I remember he had said, what was it? I also said Jeremy Sohan, and I think he had said, Doug McDermott.
Doug McDermott. It's a good point. Those are all good points. Again, Locked On Spurs, you can follow not only on Twitter and on Threads, but you can follow on Spotify. That's how I listen. Man, I mowed the grass listening to Locked On Spurs.
Really?
I clean toilets at home. And Jeff, I will let you know, I hear your voice sometimes when I shower.
Oh, God.
Because I shower listening to Locked On Spurs. It is what it is, baby. It is what it is. When I'm scrubbing myself and I'm putting shampoo on and conditioner, listening to Locked On Spurs, you can also follow it on YouTube. But when I do that, Jeff, I will let you know I do it with only the audio. I don't do it with the visual of YouTube. Okay.
No.
So who do I think this is the Spurs player that's going to regress? You mentioned Keldon Johnson. That's the first one that pops into my head. But I see this going one of two ways with Keldon. I see Keldon either being so much better than what he ever was, or him getting that regression. Yeah. I don't think that's going to be like the elevator is going to go up or it's going to go down. It's not going to stay the same because he's been the guy. He's the highest paid Spur player. He's been the guy. And this was a guy that could get off as many shots as he wanted. And he regressed last year when it came to three-point shooting. He was close to being a 40% shooter for a while there and dropped all the way down to 32%. And it's just one of those things where I look at Keldon Johnson and I think to myself, maybe having Wemby there will free him up because not all eyes will be on him, and that's going to allow him to attack the basket better. That's going to allow him to have a more open shot when it comes to those threes. So I wouldn't be surprised if Keldon actually takes a leap this year. I'm hopeful of that, but won't be surprised if the opposite happens. Doug McDermott, the regression might not come because he sucks. I like Doug McDermott. He's actually one of the most efficient shooters on this team. You looked at effective field goal percentage, which is my favorite stat. People give me crap about that because I'm like, hey, look at Sohan and Trey Jones. Their effective shooting's trash. But McDermott is actually very, very good at that. He's probably the best Spur when it comes to effective field goal shooting. If the Spurs are going to be a winning team this year and actually make a run at the playoffs, it's going to be because McDermott's playing big minutes.
Yeah,
it's not because he's relegated to the bench. But if he does a regression, that regression is going to be because he's not playing as many minutes. I'm very, very hopeful. I'm not going to say Blake Wesley because Blake hasn't had enough time to marinate out there. So I would say the most likely candidate is going to be Keldon Johnson. But my goodness, you mentioned Jeremy Sohan. I don't see it. I think Sohan's going to blow up this year. I think he's going to be what everyone wanted him to be because he doesn't have to be the man.
Yeah.
So I think Sohan and Wemby are going to be running mates. They're going to be playing together. They're going to be living together. They're going to be having meals together. Like I see them being, attached at the hip. So I really enjoy seeing what's going on with the Spurs. Now, Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5 was also reporting on the fact that Tony Parker, who's now a new Hall of Famer out there in Springfield, Massachusetts, was named Adidas's newest global ambassador. That's very cool. That is very cool. It's cool to see that he's being honored, that
Yeah.
he's still getting sponsorships after the fact. And to be a global ambassador just shows what he brings to the table, not only in Europe, but also stateside. He is a star in Europe. He's a star in the United States. And this is somebody who, out of the big three, was the one that wanted to have the attention. And because of that, he was the extrovert. Manu was introverted. Tim was introverted. Pop was relatively introverted. But Tony was the one who wanted to have the attention on him. He was the one who dated and married Eva Longoria. So for him to be out there, to be a spokesperson for a team, for a company like Adidas, is a big deal. It's a very big deal. You can read that article on Cans5.com, again, written by Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs. Let's give some love to Serenity Manor.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that now.
Yeah, I'll read up on this one. So Serenity Manor, here's the thing. They are located on Old Bandera Road in Helotes. And the thing about Serenity Manor that I love is that it is a family feel for a night out. Okay, on Thursdays, they will do things like karaoke night, or they'll do a game night. They alternate when it comes to that. This is a venue in Bandera Road, off in Helotes, rather. This is kind of catty corner to
Flores Country
Store. And you can have a quinceañera there. You can have a bridal shower there, family reunion, a wedding reception, all sorts of things. Christmas parties coming up, Halloween parties coming up. You can book it over at Serenity Manor. It's a beautiful building, over 100 years old, and they have a bar there. And the bar is open late whenever Flores is having a concert. So you can go over across the street, grab a beer, grab a margarita, grab some wine. We have some photos coming up right now. Look at that outdoor venue. It looks like you're in the hill country, but you're just barely outside of 1604. It's maybe about 3 miles outside of 1604 is what I would say. And look at that, man. Tables that they can set up. You know, there's events that they have over there when it comes to arts and crafts, when it comes to we're looking at photos right now of a baby shower.
Family night karaoke.
Night karaoke
Game
on
night,
Thursdays.
You know?
So the address for Serenity Manor is 14405 Old Bandera Road in Helotes. It's a great place, man. Look at the events that they have. They have
open market, dude.
The open market. They have an indoor and outdoor open market. Typically, it's once a month, and you can go out there and sell your goods. You can sign up, go on Serenity Manor's website to sign up for that, or go to buy stuff. I mean, that's the thing.
You can see right now we're showing the site, you know, as you can see. And I mean, you can go ahead and go in here and sign up. Market day application right there.
Market day applications, book an event. It's a very, very good website to show all that they can do. And now the weather is getting nicer.
That is.
Okay, those outdoor events, when it was 105 degrees, it's a little bit much. But fall is in the air. It's coming around, baby. It's coming around.
The pumpkin spice season is upon us.
It is. I was over at Lowe's yesterday. They already have Christmas stuff up.
I saw that. They have Halloween and Christmas stuff together.
Side by side. Oh, my goodness. Serenity Manor, 14405 Old Bandera Road. And since I'm going to be single, apparently, karaoke night is in order. But go check them out. We have a lot getting into. We have a special guest. Is that going to be going on right now?
Yeah, that's going to be coming up soon. I went ahead and sent him the link already. Just waiting for him to come back on. When he comes on, we'll go ahead and bring him on the show.
So we're going to do, the Fantasy Gods comes out Sundays at 11 o'clock with Brandon, Big Poppy Medina. You mentioned Rudy Campos has been doing it as well. It's a fun show when it comes to fantasy football, whether you have a snake draft or you're going to have an auction league type of thing. Guess what? Because of all the shit going on in my life, I have no fantasy leagues that I'm in. I might be itching to get into one.
Yeah.
I might be itching to get into one. Maybe do the one over at Mad Peckers later on this weekend as well. But the fact of the matter is that the NFL season is going to start in less than a week. I believe it's next Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. And because of that, this is the best time of the year. College football starting this weekend. Man, I was so excited. Let me tell you what happened, Joe.
Yeah.
I'm doing my taxes for last year. As a business owner, someone who's self-employed, I wait till October to do my taxes. Everyone does it by April 15. I go by October 15. And I was looking for receipts, Joe. And I found these vouchers to Southwest Airlines.
Oh, man.
That expire in 5 weeks.
You got to use them.
Got to use them. $350 in vouchers.
Yeah, and that could get you to Vegas, brother.
They get me someplace, right? So I was thinking about it. My daughter at LSU. Now, you cannot fly into Baton Rouge because Baton Rouge only does United and Delta.
Yeah.
But New Orleans is an hour away. So I'm thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take these vouchers out for a spin, but I'm not going to do it on any day. I got to do it on a game day, baby. So they're playing Arkansas early in the season. I think they're playing Grambling at some point in the season. So I'm going to be heading out to New Orleans in the next 4 or 5 weeks. And then I want to go check out the Saints game against the Houston Texans mid-October in Houston. I will be there repping the Saints, baby. San Antonio's Saints, baby. San Antonio's team. Super excited about that, man. But we have lots to get into today. Hey, man, thank you so much for everyone who is reaching out right now and giving some supportive comments about what's going on in my life and my world. I'm glad that you guys are understanding as to why I took some time off. And I didn't mean to ghost people. I didn't mean to kind of ghost things. And you know, I know we have our sponsors and all of that stuff. But the fact of the matter is that it was, I was shell-shocked. And I needed to get my head on straight because I'm sure you didn't want me to be over here bursting into tears.
Yeah, every 5 minutes,
when I'm talking about certain things. But you know, one of the ones that really helped me out throughout this whole process is Cynthia J. Sanchez from J. Parr Real Estate. Cynthia J. Sanchez been in business for 16 years. We are in constant communication about just life in general. And you know, it's funny because, you know, she was asking me about, you know, the houses and what's going to happen to our primary residence, what's going to happen to our rental property. And she told me, she goes, Michael, if you do divorce and you have a house that you bought 6 years ago that has a 2.625% interest rate, as difficult as it would be to up and leave, and psychologically might be best to sell it, you're never going to have a house that cheap ever again. That is that nice. That is that nice. So why not just keep the house, or at the very least rent it out and keep it in your name? So I had to have this conversation with my real estate agent because this is a big deal in my life. It would be easy to bail out on it and just go, you know what? I've got a lot of equity in there. The house, when I bought it off of Cynthia Sanchez, she's my realtor, it was $306,000. It's valued at $480 now. I owe $260 on it. I mean, that's $220,000 of equity right there, right? I could sell that, pay the realtor fees, pocket the rest.
That's a lot, dude.
That's a lot of money. But then again, guess what? Let's say 3 years from now, I meet somebody. We want to buy a house. That house right there, which I owe 260 something on, is probably worth $500,000, and then you add inflation another 3 years, that's a $700,000 house. $700,000 house. And then I'm paying $4,000 a month as opposed to $2,000.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So J. Parr Real Estate, Cynthia J. Sanchez, 210-273-0748. Again, been in business for 16 years. She's also somebody who was a claims adjuster for USAA, so she knows what she's looking for when she's when she's looking at a house for you that's pre-owned. She goes, hey, you need to check out this. They need to improve this, upgrade this. Cynthia J. Sanchez, hell of a woman, man. She does a fantastic job, and she will counsel you and tell you what you need to know. Not what you want to hear, but what you need to know, what you need to hear. Cynthia J. Sanchez, 210-273-0748. Mario Cavazos. Mike, I'll see if I can get you in contact with your, what does he say?
Hold on. There you go.
I'll see if I can get you in contact with your prom date that went to Jefferson High School.
Hey, we do have Kirk. We do have Kirk on hold, by the way.
Okay. I'll get to him in 1 second. Let me respond to this. Mario, that girl that went to Jefferson High School. I mentioned this because your wife went to Jeff, and when we had dinner over at Mad Packers about a month ago or so, I mentioned to you that my prom date went to Jeff. Her name is Cyan Zertuche. That was her maiden name. She got married later on, and I believe her name is now Cyan Hart, and she's a teacher. I don't know where she lives. She lives either in San Antonio or in Houston. I think she's married, okay? But I will say this, though. That is a very, very, very attractive woman. My prom date turned a lot of heads back in 1995. And last I saw of her on social media, because she's very rarely on it, she was still turning heads. Daddy did good. Daddy did good. Daniel Castro asking, stalk much? Isn't that what social media is about? Isn't that what it's about? I mean, come on, man. It's kind of like that Cobra Kai scene where they're talking about Elizabeth Shue's character, Allie with an eye, and they're like, hey, do you know where she's at? I think she lives in Denver. I think she lives in Colorado, and she's a doctor now, and she's married to this guy, but he's kind of a tool, and all of that stuff. It's not stalking. It really isn't. Now, there are people who do stalk and go through every photo and all that stuff. But no, I'm not stalking my old prom date. I just know about her because I looked her up, I don't know, 10 years ago, and I also know her sister. So there's that. We have a special guest coming on in.
We have Kirk Wood. Kirk Wood, welcome to the Alamo City Sportscast. Kirk, you have a convention coming up called CadabraCon.
Yes. Hey, how are y'all doing?
Doing good. So let us know a little bit more about CadabraCon. We know it's happening from September the 29th through October 1st at the Portland Community Center in Portland, Texas. And Portland, Texas is right smack in the middle between Corpus Christi and Rockport. So it's still a beautiful setting there, man. It's all along the Texas coast.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it's a good neutral area between both. Right. Yeah.
I think we're losing you there, Kirk.
Yeah, so while we try to get him back on track, CadabraCon has a website that is spelled Kadabra, like abracadabra. So KADABRACON.com. Again, that event's going to be in early September, and they have cosplay contests, celebrity panels, photo ops. They have a haunted house, a car show, video games. They're going to feature a lot of people who do the voices of a lot of the cartoon and anime type characters that you like and love. Very, very interesting. And I've always been excited about going to this type of an event. I've missed the last couple that have come to San Antonio, but this is a reason to go out to the Coastal Bend, spend a day in Corpus, go pay your respects to Selena, go check out the statue, go have some Water Street food, right? Then make your way over, cross the bridge, go to Portland, Texas, and go check out this CadabraCon.
Hey, Kurt, you still there with us?
Yeah, can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I can hear you a lot better now. It looks like you all are going to have like cosplay contests, celebrity panels. You're going to have an Appa photo op. And for people who don't know who that is, it's from a character from the Avatar, The Last Airbender. You have the voice of Appa there, along with a lot of other voice actors, including some from Dragon Ball Z. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so to go back to Avatar: The Last Airbender, I'm a huge fan. I watched that, and so I wanted to bring a few from the from that series. I brought, Olivia Hack.
Oh, we're losing.
We're losing you, Kurt.
I'm so sorry about that, man.
Yeah, man, you're cutting out. Let me see if I can bring you on in a little bit then.
Okay, we'll go back to that. Lots to get into. Still some more. We're going to about what, 1:15 or so?
Yeah, 1:15ish.
Again, we're live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook. We're live on Twitter. Or are we calling it X? Because that kind of all happened while I was
call
gone.
it Twitter, dude.
Yeah, screw Elon Musk. This is Twitter still. JC reaches out to us on our YouTube chat line saying this is the only podcast where the host preemptively dismisses stalking charges. Dude, I'm not stalking. That's because of Mario, dude. Mario Cavazos was reaching out and saying that I should contact my old prom date from high school. But man, it's so funny, man. It's so funny what life brings at you, and I'm just very glad that I've gotten a lot of support from people, man. That's all I'm gonna say. I've gotten a lot of support from people who've been reaching out and just kind of checking in on me and things like that. That is just being a good person. You kind of get to know who your true friends are whenever you're going through something like this. It's easy to be friends with somebody when they're in the highest of highs and when they're balling, when they are on top of the world. But when you are in that valley, it's difficult to sometimes reach out. But the ones that do, man, I remember them. And so, part of the whole thing about me kind of needing to take a step back, keep in mind what had happened over that 4-month period. Well, let's see. My wife decided that she wanted a divorce. My business partner wanted to go take a job elsewhere. My dog died, lost a radio show. Had a lot going on in my life over the course of time. And even though I've enjoyed this podcast and whatnot, it was still, I felt like I was getting gut punch after gut punch after gut punch over time. And that's the
I
thing.
got Kurt back on the line here. Kurt, you there?
Kirk, okay, make your way. So if we're going to Corpus and we're going to Portland, how far is Portland from, let's say, the Lexington?
It's about a 5-minute drive.
There you go.
Yep, 5-minute drive right before you get to the Harbor Bridge.
So how many times have you had this particular CadaverCon before? Is this the first annual, or has it been around for a while?
So I've had smaller conventions, but this is the first CadaverCon ever, and it will be the first time Portland, Texas, has ever had a con in the city. So it's a big event for multiple reasons.
So what have you learned by going from something small scale to something bigger?
There's a lot more moving pieces. You have to speak to a lot. I mean, I guess that's the biggest thing, right? More pieces because you got to speak to agents, contracts, a lot more contracts. You got to be prepared for every little thing. I want to make sure that audience is prepared to be given. You want them to see your vision, I guess. So you have to work a little bit harder for those.
Talking to Kirk Wood, who's running a CadaverCon, which is a Comic-Con type of event over in Portland, Texas, next month. Portland, Texas being just outside of Corpus Christi. Now, the thing about it is you mentioned having a small events in the past, and now you're graduating to something bigger. What do you envision for the future of this? I mean, let's say that this is a roaring success. What do you picture of a year 2, 3, and 4 down the road?
Bigger and better is always the goal, right? I want to stay in the Corpus, Portland area, but I've had several, believe it or not, ask me if I could create one in Chicago.
Wow.
In different states. Actually a handful from Chicago reached out to me and said, man, we would sponsor you if you would bring your event. So that's kind of the goal. Spread it out a little bit. I want everybody to if they can't make the trip, I want them to be able to have the chance to see my vision.
So we're taking a look at the website right now, which again is cadavercon.com, spelled KADABRACON.com. Now, a lot of the special guests coming in, we're seeing that some of them are actors, some of them are voice actors. Who's the one that you would say, these are the 2 or 3 people that the people who are coming in are going to want to see the most, the longest lines for, the biggest demand for? Who would you say that's going to be?
And that's a great question because I'm a fan of all. So, but Daniel Logan's a big one. He played young Boba Fett. He made appearances in Book of Boba Fett as well. So I would say that's a big one that you don't want to miss. If you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, which we have a big fan base for, we're gonna have Stephanie Nadolny and Mark Britton. That's young Goku, young Gohan. We're talking OGs, and Mark Britton that did Grand Kai and Korin. So you definitely don't want to meet them. They're really great people as well. And again, Power Rangers in Space is huge. It's the 25th year anniversary, so you want to meet all of them. And we have 6 of them from the show, almost a full cast coming to CadaverCon, which doesn't happen very often. So we're really excited for that. And then Avatar: The Last Airbender, that's I hold that close to my heart. I'm a big Avatar: The Last Airbender fan, and I have 3 from there.
Yeah, I'm a big Avatar: The Last Airbender fan, and so are my kids. That's one of the shows that we watched together as they were growing up, and it's still something near and dear to their hearts. But you're also going to have a car show. You're going to have a haunted house there. So that's really interesting. And also you're going to have a rave Friday and Saturday.
Nice.
I think you're going to have a DJ out there for that, aren't you?
We're going to have 10 DJs.
Wow.
5 on Friday night and 5 on Saturday night.
It's a party.
We're burying the lead when it comes to this, man. That's exciting. And this is going to be, why have the haunted house? Because, this is the end of September, early part of October, September 29th through October 1st, over at the Portland Community Center on Billy G. Webb Drive in Portland, Texas. The rave going from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Not bad. How can people get tickets, and what does it cost to get in?
So right now it's $30 for the weekend badge. The rave is a separate ticket. It is only $10 for Friday, $10 for Saturday for the individual passes. You'll go on the website right now. That's the best way to do it. You just go to the website and you click the tickets option. It's pretty self-explanatory. We try to make it as easy as possible, user-friendly as possible. And then you just go from there and pick what you would like.
All right.
Tickets will be $40 at the door as well.
All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us, Kirk. We greatly appreciate it. And again, go make sure you check out cadavercon.com. And it's going to happen September 29th through October the 1st.
And we got to promote this again, closer to the date. But that'll be fantastic. Thanks for being on with us, Kirk.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right, man. You take care. Mike Jimenez here. Joe Garcia hanging out with me. We're going till about 1:15. But if you're listening to us in the future, again, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, we try to make this show as enjoyable as possible so that it's not dated.
Yeah.
Okay. All I know is that the Dallas Cowboys right now are 0-0. Okay. Still undefeated.
Week 4-4 happening this weekend.
Week 4-4. So whenever you have the last preseason game, you typically have the starting quarterback go into the second quarter, right? You get a quarter and a half, maybe a full half when it comes to it. We're going to see, Aaron Rodgers with the Jets get a little bit more playing time. But the whole point of week 4 of the preseason is to not get hurt.
Exactly.
That is it. Just don't get hurt. That's basically it. But I heard you and Jeff Garcia talking a little bit about the Dallas Cowboys, and you were like, as a fan, you have turned yourself off from the whole, this is our year.
Yeah, man. I don't believe that nonsense.
And the thing is, and you are a weird fan, Joe, because the Cowboys could go 14-3 and you would still not believe in them.
I'll still shit on them until they can go ahead and prove to me that they can win the big game when it matters in the playoffs. They ain't proved a damn thing to me.
Dude, they could be 14-3.
They could go undefeated, and if they still can't get far into the playoffs, it's a lost season.
So I've been peeking into some of these shows, okay? Carolina Teague show on Tuesday with you. I was laughing at the part where you were talking about the double doink. And she got pissed, man. And every team has that moment where you get pissed off as a fan, just bringing it up. For the Cowboys, it's Dez Bryant. Was it a catch or not? If you want to piss off a Cowboy fan,
trigger a fan base.
To trigger a fan base, you just go up to the Cowboy fan and go, "Hey, it wasn't a catch." I'm a Saints fan. You tell me that wasn't pass interference against the Rams,
the no call,
I will just flick you off. So every team, the double doink for the Bears, every team has one. The Spurs have one. That's Ray Allen's 3-pointer, Game 6, 2013. It's also Fisher's .4 for the Lakers, right?
My God.
We have 2 of them.
.4 and the Ray Allen.
Derek Fisher, we have 2 trigger points.
Jeez. 3 if you include Manu fouling Dirk Nowitzki at the end of regulation.
And that's the funniest thing about it when you start talking about the Spurs. We're so fortunate that we had 5 NBA titles come to San Antonio.
Could have had more.
Could have had 9. Tim doesn't doesn't hurt his foot. Manu doesn't foul Nowitzki. .4 doesn't happen. Ray Allen misses that 3. The Spurs have 9 titles. What would Tim Duncan be in the pantheon of NBA
god?
greats?
He'd be an NBA god, dude.
He's already top 5, top 10 all time. Yeah. But if he's walking around with 9, he looks down at Jordan who has 6. I mean, it would be a different conversation.
They could have won another one hadn't nephew landed on Peja Stojakovic's
Oh my God,
foot.
That's another one. That's how great of an era, how big of a run it was from 1999, 1998, all the way over to about 2017. And hopefully we get back on that ride.
It's been fun, man. But yeah, you saw Carolina. She got so upset. And I didn't even say anything other than the double doink, And the funny thing to me is the one thing that I did send her, and I know she got triggered, was I sent her the picture, the video that they had of the mascot in the end zone. He just fell on his face when the double doink happened. And she's like, F you, Joe, blah, blah, blah. She was so pissed, dude. She went in hiding for a couple of days and it came back out.
You know what's a trigger point? Not that we're going to talk politics, but it is what it is. It was a historical thing. Did you see that video? I think I put it on Twitter. Of that bar reacting to Trump's mugshot. Let's see if you can find it on Twitter real fast.
It was like the one at the Rue Pub.
Yeah, because remember back in May when the Spurs won the draft lottery? I was at the Rue Pub, and it became this big old thing where it went national, went international. Victor Wembanyama even reposted it on Instagram about the celebration that went on over there in San Antonio at the Rue Pub, and it was fascinating. It was fascinating because
here it is.
Jason Minnick likes to say that people say that they were there who really weren't. But I'm going through Twitter and I'm seeing that there's this bar. I don't even know where this bar is at, but they're releasing the mugshot of Donald Trump and the place lost its mind. It was like the Spurs won the draft lottery. People are throwing beers up in the air, spraying people down like they're Jackson Mahomes and Brittany Mahomes. They're just losing their shit. It is so funny. It is a packed bar, all to see a mugshot posted on CNN. Former President Donald Trump.
Just a striking image too.
Number one. Wow. It sounds like an event, like a sports event.
Yeah.
A lot of people upset, a lot of people happy. That's just the world that we live in. It happened.
Yeah.
It happened. Drew Show reached out saying Joe is always pulling on Carolina's pigtails.
Look, full disclosure, Carolina is one of my friends. I've known her for 6 years already. And me, her, and Guylan were doing Spurs React with Chris Duell for about 2 years. And we just formed a close friendship since then. And we always stay in contact with her, with each other, So I can get away with things that other people can't. So I just like poking the bear every now and then.
I was talking to her on the phone the other day, and I said, Carolina. She called me up. She goes, "Hey, Jimenez, I need to talk to you about something." And I was like, Carolina, before we start talking, put a bra on. Put a bra on. Those are the first words out of her mouth when she was on the show Tuesday. She's like, "I don't got a bra." And I was like,
yeah, that video that we're showing is actually, it's like a meme. They used
it
for
meme?
like Game of Thrones and everything. It's just different screens.
Like Ted Cruz. Like I got tricked by the internet.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Did you see what Ted Cruz did the other day?
Oh God!
During the
try not to
the tropical storm in that hit California.
Yeah,
and someone put video of what appears to be a shark on the freeway.
I saw that.
And he retweeted it saying that it was real. I didn't know that this was real or fake or not.
Dude,
that is hysterical.
That's been going on for a couple of years already. Every time there's like a tropical storm or a severe hurricane comes through, they always post that and they say, "Feel free to use the pic," because they're trying to clown one of these news outlets into getting them to use the pic and put it up there on the national stage for everyone to see so they can make fun of them.
I'm deleting this off Twitter. I'm not going to show a fake thing on there. Not gonna.
It's funny, it's funny.
Hey man, let's talk about movies real quick, because you were talking about comedies the other day.
Yeah,
and you're trying to break it down when it comes to sports. Did Jeff Garcia get in on this conversation?
I think me and him have had conversations about this, but I don't know if he got into this exact conversation.
Okay, so when it comes to sports movies, and because I've been depressed at home for the longest time, sports movies come in different flavors, right? You've got the cerebral movie, like Moneyball.
Yeah.
You've got the, inspirational movies like Remember the Titans, and was that one with the Little Giants? And,
Little Giants.
And then you also have like Rudy.
Kicking and Screaming with Will Ferrell.
There you go. That's the oddball comedies, right? And then you've got, the historical ones like A League of Their Own, which you're showing right there. So what is this Bleacher Report article that you're showing?
Bleacher Report is saying these are the top 20 sports comedies in their eyes.
Okay, so before you go into that, just off the top of my head, sports comedies.
Yeah.
A League of Their Own is very dramatic, as it is funny. John Lovitz's character just steals the show. Why don't you get off of me? The when he gets mad about the goats and all that stuff. When I think of a sports comedy, the first one that pops into my mind is Major League.
Oh yeah, dude.
Okay.
That's the GOAT, man. That's one of the greatest.
That is on the Mount Rushmore of sports movies in general. But from a comedic standpoint, that's where it's at. You might say that Bull Durham is funny, and I can see that. What about like some movies that are not good, but are still kind of funny. I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
Necessary Roughness,
Yeah.
which was filmed in San Marcos at Texas State.
Yeah.
Necessary Roughness. I mean, that's what was her name? Kathy Ireland.
Oh,
She
yeah.
played the field goal kicker. Mm-hmm.
When you say nugget.
She's a nugget, dude. You got movies like The Waterboy, which I watched for the first time last year that I really enjoyed. There's Talladega Nights. It's very good. Sandlot's actually a good, funny movie.
Bro, people keep on bringing up Air Bud, bro. I'm like, what?
I've never seen Air Bud, man. I never have. You know what movie I've never seen? I've never seen The Mighty Ducks.
You've never seen The Mighty Ducks?
Never have.
If you have Disney Plus, I believe they have all the films on there. And probably one of the better ones is going to be the first one. You should watch it.
Really?
You should watch it. It's worth the watch.
That might be worth a movie review on a Monday. Tim Gonzalez
Retro movie review, yeah.
Says a Rookie of the Year was classic.
It was.
Okay, so the guy that plays the teenage boy in that movie ended up going on to fame by being in the American Pie movies. That was a good movie. That was a decent movie. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Rookie of the Year was a classic, man. It was a good one.
Air Bud, Golden Retriever.
Freaking
What about? I mean, if we're gonna go Air Bud, instead, why don't we go from dog to werewolf? Because
God,
Teen Wolf.
Teen Wolf, yeah.
Okay, the biggest bullshit of Teen Wolf, as somebody who's a former, soon-to-be current high school basketball official, you don't let the player who caused the foul stand underneath the basket. Like, why was Michael J. Fox's character shooting a free throw and the dude is underneath the basket? Now he's behind the basket, but when you foul out, you sit your ass down on the bench.
Yeah.
You clear the middle way, but he's there in the middle. Hate it when movies do that. But let's go to this Bleacher Report thing real fast. 20
League of Their Own, right, is what they had. Number 19, Talladega Nights.
Dude, Shake and Bake is better than 19th best comedy movie.
And so what I'm saying, dude.
Okay,
that one
this is already a shitty article, but let's keep going. 18,
Jerry Maguire.
Wait, was Jerry Maguire funny?
I thought it was funny.
I mean, it had its moments,
but it's more of a drama.
It showed me the money and all that stuff, but it wasn't a funny movie. Although I did like Jay Moore's character. 17 Tin Cup, that's a great movie.
That one's a classic, dude.
That is, I mean, the what does he have? He has the Shanks, the
yips? Shanks, yeah, Shanks.
Yeah, I love that movie. Dodgeball. Okay, here's the thing: Dodgeball wasn't good.
Dodgeball, come on, dude. Dodgeball is funny, man.
I've seen Dodgeball 10 times because Dodgeball is like cornflakes. I mean, it's good enough to eat and digest, but it's not that good. It just really isn't. All right, keep going. 16. Let's read these off. 15.
Eddie.
Oh my God. When she called Avery Johnson a little roach.
Little roach. They had Dwayne Shinsis. Rest in peace, big fella.
Shinsis is dead?
Yeah.
Okay.
They had him on there, and they also had David Robinson from the Spurs. He made an appearance on there.
Drew Show says that movie magic. That's movie magic, Mike. E.T. isn't real, and again, he can't fly. Sorry. He also says that Dodgeball is rewatchable. Mike may not have
it is, man. It's funny, dude.
14, The Waterboy. I love The Waterboy. I saw it for the first time. The fact that my daughter is in Louisiana goes a long way for me here. I like that movie. So that's a good movie. 13,
BASEketball, bro. Come on.
Okay, I remember liking it, but I haven't seen BASEketball since like 97.
Oh, man. You got to rewatch it. It's pretty freaking funny, dude.
I remember it being funny, but I don't like, if you were to ask me what's it all about, I remember there was like a baseball diamond, and I understand there was like indoors. I don't know. What else we got?
All right, so let's see.
This is according to Bleacher Report.
Mighty Ducks.
I don't know, never seen. But I'm an Emilio Estevez fan. You know why I like Emilio Estevez? Because unlike his dad and unlike his brother, he's using his real name, Estevez. That's not Martin Sheen. That's Martin Estevez. That's not Charlie Sheen. That's Carlos Estevez.
Yeah.
Emilio, Kete Puro, man. He's welcomed on Marbach. 11, Bull Durham. That's a classic movie. Do you know what I learned about Bull Durham the other day? That, God, what movie was I watching? There is a Bull Durham. There was a lawsuit over who wrote the movie.
Oh, really?
And apparently there was an actress who was also there was an actress who won $2 million because she said that she wrote that movie along with Ron Shelton, who's considered to be the playwright, if you will, or the writer of the movie. And she says no, that I was part of the whole conversation. We were dating at the time. I was helping him write this, and that she got nixed from it all. She ended up becoming an actress. I'm trying to figure out which one that is. But yeah, Bull Durham, good movie.
Say number 10, Cool Runnings, dude. This is a classic.
Yes, until I found out it's all bullshit.
Of course it is, but it's still funny. You have the great John Candy in this one.
It is. It is.
You know what honorable mention too that they didn't put in here? The Air Up There with Kevin Bacon. You remember that one?
I don't think I've seen that one.
Come on, man. That one was funny too. That's where he goes to Africa because he's a college recruit, and he sees this prospect, this guy that's playing basketball in a little village over in Africa, and he's trying to bring him over to the States. So he goes over there and he's trying to teach the tribe how to play basketball and all that, you know, and they're playing and they say, like, if you win, you can take him with you, you know, so he has to come out and play, and he's in a knee brace, because he used to be a star, but he got injured, you know. It's a good movie. You should check it out. All right. This one I never heard of before. Number 9, The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh.
You got me on that one.
Really, bro? They're like going back. Number 8, White Man Can't Jump. Okay, dude.
There you go.
There you go.
That's a great movie. That is an AA+ movie. By the way, the person that I was thinking of that says that she co-wrote the movie, I believe was Margaret Whitten, who was Rachel Phelps in Major League.
Really?
Yeah. I'm going to double check that one. Margaret Whitten. Keep going.
Okay, so we have at number 8, White Man Can't Jump. Happy Gilmore, bro.
Happy Gilmore is a great movie. I can't deny it.
And how can you not forget that scene with Bob Barker just beating the shit out of Adam Sandler?
Yeah, The Price is Wrong, Bob. Number 6, Kingpin.
Dude.
Underrated movie.
This is like one of those sleeper comedies that people like underrate this film, but it is so damn funny, man.
Okay, there's an actress in there named Vanessa Angel.
Nugget.
Dude,
she
I
is
like
hot,
I love that you have taken this word and embraced the word.
I have, dude. Nugget.
Claudia is who she played in the movie.
She's hot, bro.
That might be one of the hottest women of the 90s.
And she could throw down in that movie too.
Oh my God, she was amazing.
She was. Dude.
That was a 10. Like Vanessa Angel or Paige Sporonic now. I'll take whichever one you don't want. Okay. Because that girl was basically Paige Sporonic in 1996.
She was hot, smoking hot, dude.
Great movie.
The Sandlot, number 5.
Sandlot is one of my favorite movies of all time. If I had to say there's only 20 movies I could take with me to a deserted island, Sandlot would be one of them. Doesn't get old.
Number 4, Bad News Bears, the original
Shitty
one.
movie, dude.
The original was funny, dude.
Okay, first of all, Kelly Leak batted like 7 times in that game. They went around twice, the lineup twice.
Kids,
he batted 7 times.
The kids.
Guy's smoking. Get out of here. Bad News Bears was trash.
Oh, man.
Chico's Bail Bonds.
Slap Shot.
Number 3, I'd never seen.
I've never seen it either, dude.
Never seen.
Major League at number 2.
Dude, movie never gets old, man. It's so funny that the movie came out in what, 88, 89? That makes it 35 years old. It is fresh. It's like Usher's music. I talk about Usher all the time. Usher's music from 1998, if you released it now, it would be number 1, right? If Usher was put in a time machine and released his music 25 years later, it would be number 1 because it didn't get old. Major League is that type of movie.
Drew Show says, I watched Kingpin the other night. Bro, I'm telling you, that movie's freaking hilarious. It's like I log in to watch Joe and I see Jimenez. I'm in a time warp. Hot tub time machine.
That's a good movie. With Chernobyl.
All of them were funny.
Chernobyl,
yeah. Chernobyl.
Number 1, Caddyshack, which isn't even a sports movie. Let's just call it what it is. And in Caddyshack, it is a classic. It's a great movie. Caddyshack is one of those movies where I know every single line of that movie, but I never really consider it to be a sports movie. Okay, him going, no.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny, but is it a sports movie? Really? Is it?
It's more of a comedy, dude.
It's a comedy.
Straight up comedy.
It's a comedy that happens to be on the golf course.
Yeah.
Man. Let's give some love to our good friends at MCS, baby.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
MCS. You know,
MCS General Contracting. I was playing
we do this live, baby. I'm a professional at this, baby.
There you go.
Now, here's the thing, Chris Leha. Thanks for reaching out to me, by the way, the other day. I asked Chris to help me out. I'm showing him photos of my the concrete that I have on my patio. And remember when it snowed like a couple of years ago and it got really, really cold for a while? I had 7 inches of snow at my house when that happened. And it all started to flake off. So when I bought my house, they have a concrete porch, and the porch started to flake off. And what I didn't realize was that they had this like layer on top of it that was supposed to make it look nice, you know, not so concretey. It was supposed to be shinier.
Yeah.
And what ended up happening was it cracked and it flaked off. And I've been sending him photos going, how do I fix this? And he's giving me some guidance when it comes to it. So whether it's a small job or a big job, MCS is there for you, because we're talking about residential. We're talking about commercial. If you need help with a driveway, if you need help with a concrete slab for a building or for a home, a swimming pool, they are the ones that you want to turn to. Again, 210-774-9155. I mean, we had JJ Garena on the other day, commercial real estate guy. He was saying, hey, you know, the big thing that you need to have when you're having a business is to make sure that the parking lot is correct. And they can do that for you. Sidewalks, they can do that for you. Ramps, they can do that for you. MCS General Contracting combined more than 30 years of experience. They've been around since 2010, but those 3 guys combined more than 30 years experience. Chris Leha, a big part of this show. 210-774-9155. 210-774-9155. And what does he say?
He's got the hardest concrete in the business.
The hardest concrete. Like, if it ain't that hard, if it ain't MCS hard, I don't want it.
I don't want it.
Jeff Garcia talking about a time warp of me being back on. This is the first time I've done this show in over 3 weeks, man. This is the Chris Leha say diamond hard.
Oh God, look at what he says, dude.
He has. Oh, okay. So the concrete patios, he's calling them big hard decks. Love it. Love it.
Oh yeah, CT said the other day too. She said Karate Kid was her favorite sports movie of all time.
You're the best around.
I want to see her do that thing that they do at the end, the swan kick or whatever.
Oh, the crane kick.
Yeah, the crane. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. That's the funniest thing, man. That's the funniest thing. You know, thank you again to everybody who's reached out to me and shown some love and support. I thought I was going to cry in this episode, man. I really am, you know, because, you know, if you missed the lead, I have some marital issues going on, and it's just one of those things where I did not see it coming. Did not see it coming. So now, with Jeff Garcia coming into town, I'm suddenly going to be single. I'm suddenly going to be single probably in the next few months or so.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't want to spend $1 million to go through a divorce. I don't even want the divorce. I pray and hope that my wife has a change of heart and turns back around and says, you know what, we got to make this happen, right? But if it doesn't happen that way, I know Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5 will be my wingman.
You will, man.
Not that I need a wingman, you know. I got game. Steph Mejia, I got game.
Dude, they had me laughing, man.
Why doesn't people believe me?
Laughing,
Why don't people believe me? Why don't people believe me?
She is really funny. I had her and Spernandez here one time.
Yeah.
And we're watching boxing fight night. And she's low-key funny. Like, she picks her moments, man. She's pretty, like, chill.
Yeah.
But she picks her moments, dude. She's pretty funny.
No, she's feisty, dude. You know, she's feisty. And that's the thing, you know. Life comes at you pretty hard, and sometimes it hits you really, really hard. And it was beyond this. I mean, it was the fact that I was still mourning the fact that my dog had died. I was mourning the fact that, you know, I lost my radio show 2 months before, and was mourning the fact that that there were several things going on in my world. I have a very successful business practice.
Yeah.
But even still, my business partner got an opportunity that he could not pass up. So even though we're kicking ass and taking names, he was like, I got to take this for my family. And I couldn't fault him for that.
Yeah.
But it was just punch to the face, punch to the face, punch to the gut, and a ripping of the heart.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where I called you up and I was like, dude, I can't go on air because I'd be a sobbing mess.
Yeah.
You know how I know I would have been a sobbing mess? Because it's been 3 or 4 weeks and I cried an hour ago.
Yeah,
I was
man.
crying on the way over here. You know, it's just, you know, life comes at you very, very rough sometimes, man.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm glad to have the support of everybody out here. It was fun doing the show today. I don't know if I can do this daily right now, but again, once a week to start,
Yeah.
put me on Mondays. Mondays with Mike. And
Monday,
then
I like that. Mondays with Mike.
and then maybe I'll do Monday and Friday. You know,
I think that would be a fun show, Monday and Friday.
yeah, get you prepped up for the week.
Yeah.
And then the weekend that get you prepped for the weekend, and then the weekend that was.
Yeah. We'll get you there. You'll do that when you're ready, brother.
Yeah. And you know, like I said, I enjoyed talking sports. I enjoy talking and communicating with those who are in our that are our loyal listeners and followers of the show.
They're family, brother. They're family.
They are.
Yeah.
They are. But you know what I need? I think this weekend I need a drink. I'm not going to get shit-faced, but I need a drink this weekend.
Yeah, go somewhere and have a pour.
Go have a pour and just heal a little bit. Heal a little bit.
Christopher Leha invited him into the studio. He says, Joe, I'm on the way Monday. Gonna talk shit with my homie Mike Puro. Who dat?
Who has a better chance of winning the division title this year?
Who
The
dat?
Saints or the Cowboys?
Oh God.
Let's see. The Saints have no running backs right now. You know, they're all hurt or they're suspended. But the Saints have a pretty good team, pretty good roster this year.
They have a pretty good team, and the Saints are always in the hunt when it comes to like one of the better defenses in the NFL.
Cam Jordan, baby.
You know,
You take a look at who they have in their division. They've got Carolina with Bryce Young, who can't see over the offensive line.
he's too small, bro.
Right. You've got Desmond Ridder from Atlanta, who's probably going to be succeeded, right? Because they have Taylor Heineke over there. I bet you Heineke's going to be the starter at some point.
Yeah, they still haven't figured that out, man.
And then you've got Baker Mayfield with Tampa.
Oh, God.
Dude, my Saints, baby. Oh, when the Saints go marching in. Mm-hmm. Meantime, the Cowboys had to deal with the Eagles.
Hey, man.
And the second hardest schedule in the NFL this year.
Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, too. They don't have an easy schedule as well.
Both of those teams
Yeah.
have a crap.
It's going to be a race, man. It's going to be neck and neck for them in their division this coming season.
As Leha mentions out, Cam Jordan and Demario Davis leading the defense. Honey Badgers back, baby. LSU guy coming back with Lattimore. We're coming for the South, baby.
Yeah.
The South will rise again.
Yeah.
That's been fun, dude. That's been fun. You can catch me on Twitter at MJAcquiredTaste. Don't forget to subscribe to Locked On Spurs, Jeff Garcia. Big love again to Cynthia J. Sanchez of J. Par Real Estate. MCS Construction. They provide those big, hard decks if you need them.
Serenity Manor as well, man.
Serenity Manor. We got to do a little drinking.
And you know what? One thing that we do have to do, too, because we didn't, and I was waiting to the end to do this.
Sure.
We got to go ahead and give some love to my boy, man.
That's nice. I like the production on that.
Locked On Spurs. I'm sorry. So let's go ahead and give some love here. I meant to hit the slide, not that. To Locked On Spurs. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe to Locked On Spurs. They bring you your daily Spurs podcast. My boy Jeff Garcia over there with Ken's 5. He's the lead Spurs writer as well. He brings you everything that you need to know when it comes to San Antonio Spurs basketball. So make sure you subscribe to Locked On Spurs wherever you get your podcasts, because they're available on all major podcasting platforms. And make sure you go and check him out. He has a great YouTube channel, man.
He does.
And he's doing a great job out there. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe to his YouTube channel. And that's where you can also watch the replays of the Locked On Spurs podcast. So make sure you go ahead and also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone.
Now, allegedly, he's moving back to San Antonio. My thing about it is what side of town?
Right?
I mean, is he going to be like a 709 guy? Is he going to be at the 09ers, 78209? Is that the Alamo Heights? Is he going to be out at the Elon Hotel over there off of I-10?
Well, a little birdie told me he's still going to be in the striking distance of the south side.
Striking distance.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's going to be near his old haunts.
but not in the South Side.
Not in the South Side.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be in the South Side. I think it's going to be near.
I need to figure out where this is at, so, because we need to throw him a housewarming party, right?
I don't even know what would get him. A little care package from HEB. The finest that Hill Country Fair has to offer.
Dude, Hill Country Fair is no joke, baby. No joke.
Hey, man, those fajitas are on point, bro.
Can you imagine if he lived in Southtown?
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. That guy's blood alcohol level would be like 0.15, 24 hours
Jeff
a day.
would be like that scene from Shrek. He lives in the highest tower, in the tallest castle. It's Jeff Garcia.
And
looking down at everybody, let them eat cake.
And I don't blame him. I don't blame him, but he's going to be returning, and I might be single in a few months. So now I'll be able to kind of hang out with Jeff, and I'll be like, Jeff, what's that line from Top Gun? You could be my wingman. You could be.
And when we have Jeff on the show, when you're here hosting it, we need to go ahead and play that song from the Night of the Roxbury's. What is love?
Yeah.
Got to do.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Oh, no, Joe is getting close, according to Jeff Garcia. Getting close to where he lives. We'll figure it out. You know what? Maybe we'll have a nice little social, a nice little drinking event for the listeners of this podcast. That'll come soon. That'll come with karaoke, though. We got to make that happen.
Yeah.
That is Joe Garcia. My name is Mike Jimenez. This is the Alamo City Podcast Network, a.k.a. the artist formerly known as the Acquired Taste Network.
We're going to have your name with the symbol.
Everyone have a great weekend out there. Safe weekend out there. And if you're into prayer, wouldn't mind getting one from you guys. See you guys soon.
Peace.